Okay, you are through to my biology class. Today we are looking at locomotion as our new topic in biology. So, what is locomotion? Okay, so locomotion refers to movement of an entire organism from one place to another. The movement of entire organisms from one place to another. Okay, that is locomotion. That's the meaning of our main topic for today. Okay, so only animals can carry out locomotion. The reason is very simple. It is only an animal that can move the entire body from one place to another. Okay, so no wonder why there they are specifying to say animals carry out what? Locomotion. Okay. Other types of organisms, such as trees, can only move parts of their bodies while remaining fixed. And that is true. A tree cannot move from this point on its own to another, the entire body of the tree. Instead, the way they move is just the branches, the fruits, they will just move like this. But the main body is fixed. Okay, therefore, trees are not qualified to undergo locomotion, or rather to carry out locomotion. Okay, so locomotion in animals is done with the help of skeletons and muscles. So we are saying locomotion is done with the help of two important things. One, skeleton and muscles. So that means without skeleton, there will be no what? Locomotion. Without muscles, there will be no locomotion. Okay. So now, let us look at skeleton now. A skeleton first to start with. Skeleton, what is it? A skeleton is any firm structure that gives mechanical support to the body and provides protection to the softer parts of the body. So that is skeleton. Okay. So that is skeleton. A skeleton is any firm structure that gives mechanical support to the body and provides protection to the softer part of the body. So when we say softer part of the body, we are talking about the meat itself. Okay, so skeleton is there to protect the meat of the body. That is the soft part. Any soft part in the body is being protected by what? The skeleton. And skeleton also gives the what? The mechanical support to the body. Okay. So now here we are saying there are three types of skeletons in multicellular organism. There are three types of skeleton in multicellular organism. So when we say multicellular organisms, we are talking about organisms with the muscles. Okay, that is multicellular organisms. So these are, now let us look at the different types of skeletons, and these, they are just three main types of skeletons. One of them is hydrostatic skeletons. Then the other one, we have exoskeleton. Then the other one, we have endoskeleton. So hydrostatic skeleton, exoskeletons, and endoskeleton. So there are many, three. Okay. So now, having known those three types of skeleton, we need now to look into each one of them detailed. So we are going to start with hydrostatic skeleton. So what is it? What type of skeleton is hydrostatic? So this is the type of skeleton made up of watery fluids. Okay, so hydrostatic skeleton is made up of watery fluids, okay, found inside the body. So this one is made up of watery fluids that is found inside the body. That is the hydrostatic skeleton. Okay, so these watery fluids offer mechanical support and help in movement. So the watery fluids that is found inside the body, they offer mechanical support, okay, in movement and help in movement. Okay, mechanical support and help in movement. That is their job. So that's the job of hydrostatic what? Skeleton. Because in the first place, I actually alluded to where I mentioned that a skeleton gives the mechanical support to the body. So this is what even this hydrostatic skeleton is doing. Okay, so this type of skeleton occurs in soft-bodied invertebrates such as earthworms, hydra, snails, slugs, and sea anemones. That is where you can find hydrostatic skeleton, because this one is the watery fluid, is made up of the watery fluid inside the body. So therefore, they are found in soft what? Bodied invertebrates. So when we say invertebrates, I simply mean the animals that has got no backbones, that is invertebrates, animals with no backbones. So if an animal has no backbones, it means that particular animal doesn't even have what? Ribs. Okay, so that is invertebrate. That's where you can find hydrostatic skeleton. So they have given us examples of those animals, soft-bodied animals, like earthworms. We know the earthworms. Okay, we can also talk of hydra. We can also talk of snails. We can talk of slugs. We can talk of sea anemones. We know all these animals. That is where hydrostatic skeleton is found. So now, water has three important characteristics, because we have heard that hydrostatic skeleton is made up of fluid, water fluid. Okay, so now let us look at the three important characteristics of water, okay, that make it suitable to act as a skeleton. So in short, here we are saying hydrostatic skeleton is water, the fluid found inside the body. So now, I want to look at three important characteristics that qualifies it to be what? A skeleton. Okay. One of them is it is relatively incompressible, cannot be easily compressed. So water is relatively incompressible. That means quite all right, it can be compressed, but not easy. Okay. And that characteristic has qualified it to be what? A skeleton. Okay. Then the other characteristics is that it transmits pressure changes equally in all directions. So it transmits pressure. Okay. Pressure needed or changes equally in all directions. Transmit pressure equally in all directions. So that characteristics also make it to be a skeleton. Then the other one, it takes up the shape of its container. It takes up the shape of its container. So those are the three characteristics of water that makes it to be a skeleton. Okay. So now let us look at cross section of an earthworm. Here we have picked earthworms to actually explain more about hydrostatic skeleton. But remember, there are a lot of animals there where hydrostatic skeleton is found. So we have picked earthworm. So this earthworm we are able to see here is cross section. So it has cut cross section. Do you know what it means? When we say cross section, it means we have cut the earthworm like this, so that we open it like this to see what is actually the parts of it. Okay, just on the middle like this. That's what it has been cut. So now let us see it and the parts of earthworms inside. So we have the first one there. This is circular muscle. Okay, circular muscle. Circular muscle. Then the next one we have longitudinal what? Muscle. So circular muscle, we are talking about the muscles that are lined like this in a circle form, just from the word circular. That word circular comes from the word circle. So these are muscles that are aligned in a circle form. Then longitudinal muscle, again, we are talking about muscles now that are just what? In length. They are straight like this. Okay. Then we have otary fluid, which is otary fluid, these dots you are seeing here. Otary fluid inside here. Otary fluid. So this is now the hydrostatic skeleton. That is the skeleton on its own. Okay. Otary fluid. Then apart from that, we have the gut. Okay, so the gut, this is just the tube. So this is digestive tube that runs from mouth to what? Anus. Okay, so this is the one. It is like this. Okay, gut. So you have seen how the otary fluid, which is hydrostatic skeleton, is actually working there. Okay. So now, during locomotion in an earthworm, the circular and longitudinal muscles contract. So during locomotion, during movement now, the circular and longitudinal muscles contract. Okay? What happens when they contract? It turns to produce what? Peristaltic waves along the body. Okay? So they are able to create the waves, peristaltic waves. These are waves that enables it to move forward or backward, like this you have seen. So that is during locomotion. So when the circular and longitudinal muscle contracts, they will actually create the peristaltic muscles. I mean wave. So those waves now they will enable it to do what? To move either forward or backward. Okay, this is what they are saying along the body, beginning at the front end and working backwards. This is what I'm trying to actually say. Okay, so this is hydrostatic skeleton that we have just explained here. Thank you for understanding. But don't forget that we have just talked about in this lesson one type of skeleton, which is hydrostatic skeleton. So there are more remaining. We have exoskeletons and endoskeletons. So stay tuned for the whole lesson under locomotion, which will actually be in the second, third, and fourth lessons. Thank you for your understanding and for your patience. Don't forget to subscribe to this YouTube channel, which is your class, for more educative and examination-oriented questions so that you are able to acquire the skills that which you need as candidate. Thank you so much for now.